EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Today, after a topsy-turvy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here, as it'll be the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Los Angeles Rams. Two teams here fresh off week 1 victories who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports. This taken in at the goal line. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And he's going to be out of bounds across the 50. Great return.
That kind of kickoff return is something we call a momentum play. So if you're the offensive coordinator and you have a script of plays that you plan to run, you may change it up now because you may decide to go for some bigger strikes and try and keep the momentum going.
Purdy going to the air right away. And his first look is incomplete. You talk about this Rams defense. Well, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
That was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. Well, this defense for the Rams, terrific last week in the season opening victory.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers. 3 of them, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
Open man is Ayuk, complete. And he is going to have a 49ers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
The Niners passing game in sync now. They've got another first down. A nice gain there to his trusty tight end, and now it's got them thinking opening drive touchdown here as they get into the red zone.
And in most cases with your tight end, you feel like you've got a mismatch no matter who's covering it. Is it a small cornerback? Is it a linebacker who may not run as well? In any event, whatever you see, you think that tight end can win that battle.
And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Purdy looking to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
You got to be precise with your throws, especially in this situation. You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
And this will be play number 8 of the opening drive. It's 3rd and short. Shotgun now with Purdy. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal. They'll try and power it in with Juszczyk. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
That's someone who's pretty happy right there. That's the defense coordinator. Body after body getting to him before he can get started.
Purdy off the play fake. And this is going to be intercepted. And the Rams are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points no matter what. At worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Stafford and the Rams come up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Now the fourth-year man, it's Cam Akers. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. You look at this Niner defense, currently number 1 in the NFL against the run.
And that's a ranking that feels good, right? To be number 1 and to be the top of your profession. But here's the problem. It's only week 1.
1 week, yeah.
Can they do it 15 more times? If so, then we really got to...
And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. It was Eric Armstead fighting his way through that time to record the sack.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
So now Stafford and the Rams, after the sack, they're staring up at a 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
On 4th down, Matt Araiza sent on to punt. Back to return it, Christian McCaffrey. And taken right at the 35. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that...
Trying for Ayuk, but it's intercepted. And the Rams are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Well, CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back. Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Purdy's throw pulled in by Kittle. And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7. No score after 1 on EA Sports. Going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Purdy with it on 3rd and long. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked up by Akello Witherspoon. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. After the interception, here's Stafford. Got a man, it's Higbee complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. Now they'll have it 1st and goal following that gain of 17.
First down from Higbee. And since so many have forgot about him among the league's top tight ends, time to give him his due. He has improved so much across 7 NFL seasons, going from backup to true receiving threat. 72 catches last season. Expect more of the same this one. I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. The ball comes out, and the ball ends up out of bounds, so it'll be a loss on the play. Thankfully for the offense, a fortuitous bounce there on the fumble goes out of bounds because they're down here in the red zone. You don't want to lose one there.
You don't want to lose one, and the best part, because it went out of bounds, they retain possession, still have an opportunity to put points on the board.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Oh, that's going to hurt a bit because they needed to come through with a completion there. Now a drive that started with great field position is facing 4th down.
Blankenship's kick is good. And the Rams have the first points here. It's 3-0. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice. But at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over. Well, this is just crazy. He's got 3 interceptions, Charles, and we haven't even departed the first half of this ballgame.
I think if you're looking at the stats right now, you're saying, all right, who's the leading receiver? Well, can you flip it around and say that maybe he is and could be for the game the way that things are going right now? I think if it's him, he wants to be on the field at all times.
Now they air it out to start the drive, and it's complete. They got 29 yards that time.
That was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver. Although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Stafford. That is incomplete.
That one was was tipped up in the air and fortunately fell away for the defense, because if the offense is able to grab that one, that's a short little jaunt into the end zone, because there's not enough reaction time off of a tip ball for the defense to rally and make a tackle. They were very fortunate on that play.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well.
One of the great coaches said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush won, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
Big 20. Middle.
Throwing on third down, Stafford. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
But that was certainly an aggressive call and an aggressive play. Instead of just going for the first down, took the shot in the end zone, went for the touchdown.
And on third down, they said, forget about the sticks. We want 6. Blankenship's kick is good. And they're able to double their lead in this first half. It's 6-0. They already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
After the made field goal, here's Blankenship again. This fielded right at the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we're having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And if finally we kept having a rough patch, he said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And now 1 yard to go on third down. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On third down, it's Purdy. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, based on what we've seen so far, I think you can even call this an off day anymore, partner, because this group we're watching, they are totally out of rhythm, trying to get their game plan up and running. That 0 on the scoreboard is glaring down at them with every incompletion.
Pulled in at the 24. Good return there, 17 yards. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. Set to begin their next drive, the Rams offense at the line. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Going right back to Akers. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on third down.
And he got blown up, losing yardage on the play back at the 44. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Matt Horizon now on to punt this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Throwing here, Purdy. And the Rams got it. They bring him down. Ernest Jones, the linebacker, with a sack. This offense continues to shoot themselves in the foot. And here, another sack.
All game long, we've seen missed assignments, which have led to turnovers, sacks. This group has not played well at all here in the first half.
3rd down, here's McCaffrey. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their 2nd, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. And here's a fair catch taken at about the 24-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Los Angeles offense set to begin their next drive. And not an abundance of time remains on the clock, Charles, but you would think more than enough to try to extend this lead before intermission.
And when you're talking about extending the lead, I think you're talking about aiming for the end zone because there is plenty of time for that. The fallback is to get 3. But in your mind, you put 6 on the board right before the half. That's a heck of a dagger and great momentum to carry into the locker room.
Stafford's throw here, hauled in by Cup. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Only needing 2 yards on 2nd down. Off the fake to Akers, here's Stafford. And that is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. The free safety couldn't quite get his hands around it, and it brings up 3rd down. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Stafford. Man open, it's Cup. He's got it. The Rams going to be forced to use their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the 1st down.
Hey, 50.
Stafford on 1st down. Going up top for Cup. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Offenses all over continue to be aggressive, and most people never turn down a shot at a deep ball. But oftentimes, it attracts a little bit of extra attention. And it did on that play, and that one got knocked away.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Middle. Hey, 50. All right, boys, here we go.
Now Stafford. He's going to go up top again. Here's a diving catch right side. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break.
These 2 coaching staffs likely going through their final adjustments for the second half. One of these teams is going to emerge 2-0. But who will it be? To find out, let's go back to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. Well, the Rams going to get the football first here, and they look to build on their lead as the second half gets started. Taking it about the 1. And he won't quite make it to the 25. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. And Charles, they've got the lead. Put your coaching hat on here now. What's the game plan for the second half?
I think getting the running game going a little bit more, because I thought in the first half they didn't get it moving the way that they would like. They had success throwing it, but I think these first couple of drives, they'll want to get those running backs going and give them more opportunities, and I will guarantee you that those guys were lobbying for them in the locker room at halftime.
So from the 26-yard line, here's second down and 8. They'll toss this right side to Cam Akers. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
A nice carry by Akers, and what a journey it was for him last season. Coming off of injury, away from the team for a while, he did come back later in the season and led them with almost 800 yards. Still scratching the surface of what he can do. He can be a dynamic presence on the field.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Stafford's pass complete. He's got Cup. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Stafford going to change it up here. They'll try and run for this with Akers. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1. Here comes the Rams punter now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. This is taken at about the 14. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
And they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. 18 yards, first down Niners. Purdy from the gun. Got a man. That's Ayuk. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Eluding the pressure right. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
I'm not quite sure what he thought he saw there, but the reality was certainly a much different picture than what he anticipated. And give credit to the defense. They were down on a flash when he broke out of there, and they forced him out with almost nothing to show for his efforts.
Not liking the look. They'll change the play. Purdy now to throw off the play action. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. He's got room to roam. Still on his feet. Touchdown, 49ers. George Kittle His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Niners are an extra point away now from moving out in front. Well, Charles, he's still a young signal caller in this league, second year in the NFL. And I don't know if last year as a rookie, if he would have worked through his progressions like he did on that touchdown pass.
I think you're right about that. We're seeing him grow up right in front of our eyes because when he went to his primary read, he recognized that they were all over that. So he continued to survey the field, picked up another target, delivered a pass exactly where it needed to be. A very mature play for the second-year quarterback.
Taken at the goal line. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Los Angeles offense set to begin their next drive. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And that will be incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on third down.
Here comes the Rams punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. That's taken on the 25. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. And oh my goodness, here's a 5th interception. Picked off by Akello Witherspoon. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Stafford going to give this to Akers. He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
A loss on that play, and now third down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Field goal from this spot would be 51 yards. They'll try to move it closer on 3rd down. Now Stafford. And he will find Atwell. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. A big play there on the catch and run, and it'll give him a fresh set of downs.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner. And watch watching them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead. Now it's Stafford off the bootleg. That's out to the flat for Akers. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. They'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Stafford. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They're giving him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Stafford looks to throw again. Flushed out right. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Likely the play of the game here, trailing in the final quarter and going for it on 4th and goal. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Rodrigo Blankenship with an important one. This for a 4th quarter lead. Blankenship's kick is good. And they jump back in front here. It's 9-7. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The 49er offense set to get this drive underway. And they really need to forget about their last time out, the turnover that led to a field goal. So now they try to regroup, trailing in the final quarter. Obviously, they'd love a touchdown, but 3 would suffice. A tackle that time by Akello Witherspoon.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run. But for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defense...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Ernest Jones. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. 16 yards is the pickup there, and a 1st down for L.A. A give up the middle to Akers. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps him in a running situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, Nice hole for him. Ends up picking up nice yardage. Stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Rams. Cam Akers, his second rushing touchdown on the year. And the Rams get an important score there to extend their lead here in this fourth quarter.
And that touchdown ends a streak, for lack of a better word, of 3 field goals that they put on the board previously. They finally cracked the code.
Yeah, they've been down there. They've been in enemy territory, as you said. They just hadn't been able to punch it in until that point. Extra point by Blankenship is up and good. And that makes this a 9-point game. So after the touchdown, here's Blankenship kicking off. This taken in at the goal line. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a first down.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? Now a pass hauled in downfield, down the right sideline, and he takes it all the way down to the 22. Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now. Now here's a look for the end zone, but that one's going to wind up incomplete.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
Purdy will look to throw again here. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. John Johnson with the INT. And the Rams are going to take over once again at their own 25-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll go again here with Akers. He's got the lane, and there he goes. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 73 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries. This offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. And they'll go with the ground attack here. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away. And that's a loss of 7 on the first down play.
Those big ends don't really care what the play call is. Big pass, RPO, handoff, whatever. Their job, get behind the line of scrimmage every play and run down whoever has the ball. Mission accomplished there.
And now a design run with Jefferson. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout, as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
49ers have an extra defensive back on the field. A nickel set for third down. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. And now the Niners going to signal for their third and final timeout as it comes with 1:25 left to go in the contest. So on fourth down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and that'll keep this a 9-point game. And that miss should just about write a finish to this one.
Yeah, they needed 2 scores, and they needed that field goal there to be the first one and still give them an opportunity. But now, with the time left on the clock, I think this one's about finished.
Here's 1st and 10. Throwing, Purdy. Flush to his right.
Well, they've certainly had trouble unlocking this defense through 3.5 quarters, so I don't expect it to get any easier now. You know they're going to be sitting back and waiting on everything, and they force an incompletion there.
Here's Purdy. This one caught by Kittle. He'll get it inside the 20. Touchdown, 49ers. George Kittle with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Niners have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a one-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Moody good with the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So a minute and change to go, and this is going to be an onside kick. And the hands team for the Rams able to secure the football. They had to go for it with no timeouts remaining, though now this one's as good as over.
They gave it an effort. They tried their best, did everything they could to try and get the ball on the onside kick. You're exactly right. They had to try it. It was their only option. And now this game is done. Just take it, kneel, and call it a day.
Throwing quickly out wide, Atwell.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Have to imagine this will be on the ground as well as they come up 2nd and 7. How about this? They'll try the option, left side. And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line. And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you've got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem. That doesn't work too well.
Hey, give me a radar.
Now Stafford. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Talanoa Hufanga. Down the left sideline. And into the end zone. A pick six for the 49er D as they score.